Zimbabweans living abroad will not be allowed to vote in this year's elections. Now, this ruling was made by the country's constitutional court. President Emmerson Mnangagwa had previously said that a lack of resources would make it difficult to allow the multitudes of Zimbabweans living outside the country to vote. We're joined via Skype by eNCA's correspondent in Zimbabwe, Pindai Dube. Pindai, very good morning to you. I'm sure election fever now starting to grow in Zimbabwe, with the election due to happen on the 30th of July this year. So what's been the reaction, though, especially from those who don't live in Zimbabwe but and will not be allowed to vote in this election unless they come home?
Yes, very true, Yuveka. There was a judgment yesterday by Justice Elizabeth Gwauza at the Constitutional Court saying that Zimbabwe in the diaspora, there are multitudes of Zimbabweans living in South Africa, UK and Canada who had actually led by Gabriel Shumba, who is one of a lawyer based in South Africa. They wanted to be allowed to vote, but Justice Gwauza said he agreed with what was presented by the State Council, who said that only Zimbabweans living in Zimbabwe can vote in their constituencies, because currently there are no constituencies out of the country. They said that also only Zimbabweans who are on government duty are allowed to vote from outside Zimbabwe. So most Zimbabweans I spoke to who are based in the diaspora, they are not happy with the judgment. That's the position right now.
So what has happened in previous elections, though, Pindai? Now with President Mnangagwa saying that it's due to a lack of resources, as you say. Firstly, has that been the case with previous elections, that there was a lack of resources and they weren't allowed to vote? Or are we thinking that that is just a feeble excuse and there's another reason behind this?
Right, yeah. For the past elections, since around 2000, Zimbabweans outside the country, especially in the diaspora, were not allowed to vote. There was also an argument last time from the ruling party saying that you remember Zimbabweans is on targeted. They are on targeted sanctions. They said that they are not allowed to go to those places outside Zimbabwe, especially in Europe, to campaign, and they feel that it's to their disadvantage. So I think they are happy with the court's decision yesterday that only Zimbabweans who are in Zimbabwe are allowed to vote. So there is a campaign by civic society groups here in Zimbabwe that they want to encourage Zimbabweans who are outside the country to come and register to vote, and also to come on the election day, which is June 30, to come and vote.
So are we seeing this then maybe as an attempt to get all of those Zimbabweans who've chosen to leave the country back home?
Yeah, there are two arguments. Some they are saying these people they don't care about their country. Some are saying these people are looking for better life. Zimbabwe's economy is on its knees, and there are no jobs. Unemployment is around 90%. So most Zimbabweans who are outside are saying that they are looking for better life. So. And the economy still hasn't recovered. There's no way they can come home and do nothing.
Okay, all right. And then, of course, this election, Pindai, will be a very telling moment for Emmerson Mnangagwa to see if the people of Zimbabwe really actually want him there.
Yes, very true. These are actually watershed elections. These are first election without former President Robert Mugabe, who has ruled Zimbabwe since 1980. So this is the first test case of Emmerson Mnangagwa as the presidential candidate. He has been an MP, of course. He has lost some parliamentary elections before, but he won the last 2013 elections. He was an MP in Chiruba, Zimbabwe. So this is going to be interesting elections. And we also have a young man, Nelson Chamisa, who is only 40, who will be contesting against Mnangagwa. So that's the main contest which most people are going to witness.
And what about those rumors swirling, Pindai, in the past couple of weeks of a comeback, a possible comeback by Robert Mugabe with a different party? Do we know? What have we heard about that? And you know, will there be sort of any attempt to contest this election by him? Are we hearing anything?
Yes, very true. You know, there's a political party that's the National Patriotic Front, which was formed by a group, you know, known as the Generation 40, which was accused, you remember, on the during the November 15 coup, where they were accused of being the criminals around President Robert Mugabe. So they've come together, they've formed the party called National Patriotic Front, and they say they've got the support of President Robert Mugabe. But it's not clear whether President Robert Mugabe will take part in the elections. So we are waiting, you know, the nomination court for those who will take part in the July 30 elections will be there on June 14. That's about 2.5 weeks from now. So that's when we are going to know whether President Robert Mugabe will put his name to contest as the leader of the National Patriotic Front. But now, currently, the leader of the National Patriotic Front is Ambrose Mutiniri, who is a former government minister, who is also a former army chief. So we are waiting to see what will happen. But at the moment, we are not sure whether the former President Robert Mugabe will take part in these elections.
All right, well, about 2 months to go now to that election. Thank you very much, eNCA's correspondent in Zimbabwe, Pindai Dube.